Okay, I might as well begin. Good afternoon, everyone. Just to let you know, this will be recorded, so if anybody would like this when we're done, let me know. Also for people that cannot attend. I am Christine Osceolo. I am a franchise specialist with FranNet. I appreciate you attending our Lunch and Learn. We have two presenters that are going to explain about their pet specialty businesses. But before they begin, I'd like to speak to you a little bit about FranNet and give you some franchising facts. Let's see, next slide. Okay. So who is FranNet? FranNet's been around for about 25 years. We have over 80 offices, 3 in Germany, and we just opened 1 in England. We help potential entrepreneurs find a franchise that fits their profile at no cost to them. Many people are looking for a business that can thrive in any economy. I get asked all the time, what is the most popular franchise? So we are looking for those few businesses that can thrive now and down the road. Right now we see healthcare and senior care markets as one of the strongest markets out there. Census data that goes out every 3 years says that 25% of the population is over 65 and 25% is under 25. We have your residential repair. People aren't buying new homes. They're repairing the current ones. Old people can't. Young people don't know how. There's dual incomes. Households don't have the time. Then there's also child development and education, also driven by demographics. There's also your essential services like your hair care. You have your supercuts who charge $15 for a haircut. Or you have automotive. People are fixing their cars, keeping them longer. There's also damage restoration. Houses gets damaged, mold, smoke, damage, fire. When this happens, someone needs to clean it up. Homeowners call the insurance company. There's also business centers, IT services, all to help develop small businesses. Franchising isn't just fast food and retail. Just some overall facts on franchising. There are over 3,000 different franchise companies in more than 80 industries with over 900,000 operating units. Some popular categories are pet care, cleaning, retail, and IT services. Can you make a burger? I can, and it would be much better. It's not the product. It's all about the business systems. When you purchase a franchise, you purchase the marketing, sales, and operating systems. You do this so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can focus on building your business. Some people think franchising is expensive. You have some that are $50,000 to $100,000, like your education and health care. Those can be run from home, few employees. Then you have your $100,000 to $250,000, which would include some retail, auto, some food. Some could go as high as $500,000, like your big food franchises, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. Typically, you would need to put 25 to 30% down on a business. We do provide some financing options, or you could use your 401k or get an SBA loan. At the end of the day, it's all about finding a franchise that's a best fit for you. You want to look at your 5, 10, 15-year goals and use franchising as a tool to help you get to your lifestyle and financing goals. I'm going to wrap it up. This is my contact information. If you would like further information on either one of the businesses, I would need you to fill out a personal franchise assessment, which I will send to you. Then the franchisor would be able to give you further information on their business. If I already have an assessment, I will gladly put you in touch with the franchisor. I will be following up with everyone and emailing you the link to my assessment and the presentation. So please hold your questions to the end. Now I'm going to introduce our first business, which is the largest pet retail franchise available in the U.S. today. Sean?
Hi, thanks, Christine. She is right. We are the largest franchise pet retailer in products and supplies retailer for pets in the United States. Third largest behind who most people know, Petco and PetSmart. So some people know who we are, some people do not. But what I'm going to do today is just kind of give you an idea of who we are, what we're about, and what the opportunity is all about. And it's going to tap into one of the most steadiest growth growth industries out there, and that is the pet industry. So I think it's important to understand definitely the history of our company, where we are now, and really where we're looking to go. A lot of people out there attribute the big box retailing of pet supplies and pets, starting with Petco and PetSmart, when in actuality, we started this whole entire industry of kind of big supermarket style of selling pets and supplies. We started in 1988. Our founders were basically in the grocery business and saw a very untapped niche market, which would be just specifically pet supplies and food. That's all they did at the beginning. They didn't even sell live pets. This was meant to be a discount type of offering. They just wanted to push a lot of product at good prices. And the amazing thing about the model is it grew from 0 stores to 200 stores by the founders, family members, and friends and buddies opening these stores. It's a pretty amazing story to have that many stores in organic growth. They didn't have any franchise development or whatnot. A lot of the owners from the original days, we call them the legacy owners, by the time 2009 rolled around, a lot of them wanted to sell. They wanted to, if you think about it, you're in your mid to late 70s, early 80s, the last thing you want to do is open more pet stores. So it got to a point where the franchisees and the people that own the franchise business, Pet Supplies Plus, voted to put Pet Supplies Plus up for sale in 2009. So if you think about 2009, probably not the best time to sell anything, let alone 200-plus location franchise model. But that's the amazing thing about our industry. It's very recession resistant. When you're looking at the pets and pet industry, it doesn't matter what the market's doing, right? It's not like you're going to stop feeding your pet when the market's in the tank. That business works. So what happened was we put it up for sale. We vetted out about a half a dozen or so private equity firms and venture capital firms that were interested in purchasing us, and we ultimately decided to sell to a company called Irving Place Capital. And a lot of people don't know who they are, but they have a very strong track record of very high-end brands like Vitamin Shop, New York and Company, Aeropostale Clothing, Camelback. These are all their brands. So very high-end consumer retail, that's their niche in terms of what they like to invest in. And they're a $4 billion equity firm. So very strong ownership that we have. Their goal is not to run a pet store or a chain of pet stores. Their job is to find money to help us run our business, and that's what they do. After they purchased us, I should say during the purchase, they acquired 90 of our franchise stores and made them corporate stores. 64 of those 90 came from one ownership group. There were 2 guys that owned 64 of these stores in over 5 states. The older of the 2 gentlemen retired because not only did they own 64 locations, they also owned a third ownership of the Pet Supplies Plus franchise itself. The other of the partners we actually have is our vice chairman. His name is Dominic Saletta. So it's a very impressive thing when the model that you're looking at has the equal number of corporate stores to equal number of franchise locations. They have as much, if not more, skin in the game than our franchisees do, and they really utilize these corporate stores to test new products, new technology before they would ever have a franchisee implement them into their system. So like Christine said at the beginning, we are the largest franchise pet retailer in the United States, and again, behind Petco and PetSmart, the 3rd largest overall. Irving Place Capital has put their money where their mouth is. They have invested $24 million into building an 800,000 square foot distribution center in Indiana. That's where all of our hard goods come from. And they've also invested an additional $14 million in technology and point of sale system infrastructure. So very much bought into it. Their long-term goal is to be at 1,000 stores. Right now we're at about 320. We're going to open anywhere between 25 to 40 new stores a year. and most of those are going to be franchise locations. So when Irving Place Capital comes in, they want to put the right team together, so that's what they've done with us as well. This is your organizational chart to be able to meet any one of these people through the process that you would go through with Pet Supplies Plus. The guy who runs our ship, our CEO, his name is Chris Rowland. 15 years with PetSmart, was the president of operations for PetSmart. Really was not happy with PetSmart's moving away from what they were all about and what we are all about. So we're all about the pet, we're all about the people, and we're about having fun taking care of those people. So that's the organizational chart. You can see most of those companies are very well-known and high-end retail type of brands. So very strong leadership group that they've put together for us. The business model itself is very turnkey. Okay, real estate is definitely the number one success factor. We have you covered on every single aspect of this piece. We help you find the best piece of real estate. We help you negotiate the best lease. We help you build out the building. We help you set up the store. We even do your grand opening advertising and marketing for you. In retail, merchandising is a very important thing. We have a very large team of merchandising people that vets out all new brands. They lay out your store for you in 4-foot sections so you don't have to figure out how everything fits up on the shelves. We do it all for you. Like I said, the setup team comes in, they put your store together. Racks, shelves, countertops, they put your inventory on the shelf, they price tag everything, they set up your point of sale system, they do everything. The name of the game in any retail is getting people in your door. And our marketing team is no different. They're all retail marketing experts. We dive down really deep into this marketing and advertising aspect in one of our webinars. The Preferred Pet Club is our loyalty program. We have close to 5 million people in that right now, which gives you an opportunity to very much narrow cast your marketing and advertising capabilities. How we keep everybody on the same page, from Chris at the top, at CEO, all the way down to your store managers, is what we call our field support team. Your district team leader is going to be your partner. That's your direct link to this. You know exactly what's going on in terms of new things, new technology, wins, concerns, promotions that are working or not working. Everything that you need to know, you're going to never be in the dark with us. And that's one of our priorities, to keep everybody on the same page. The industry of pets is, again, one of the steadiest growth industries. One of these charts here, this one right here, we get our information from the American Pet Products Association. That is the premier information for our industry. The last 20 years, this business has grown by 6.5% year over year, and is projected to grow at the same clip for the next 15 to 20 years, and I'd be shocked if it doesn't go longer than that. So even in the worst times that we've seen, you see the same up and to the right steady growth in this business. Here's a big one right here, I think. Annual expenditure per pet. So how much money are you spending per pet now? Again, this has grown year over year by about 6%. There's two things that are really at play here. Number one, we call it the humanization of pets. And you guys have seen this before. People buying clothes and shirts and carrying bags and diamond-studded collars and all this crazy stuff for their pets equals more money for the industry. The biggest piece of this growth is the absolute rocket ship growth of the natural, organic, raw, the high-end food brand. Just like us humans feeding ourselves better food, whole foods, those type of things, same with pets. So those are two very big. We just happen to be the leader in the industry, and I'll talk about that here in a second, in that high-end food category. The highest grossing in terms of margin, and it's the fastest growing part of the business. So couple those statistics with the fact that about 70% of the households in the United States own at least one pet, you have a bulletproof industry here, right? So we're tapping definitely into that. Number one question, it doesn't matter who I talk to, when and where, the number one question is, well, how do you stack up with Petco and PetSmart? What you're looking at is the AHA screen. Because typically when I explain what's on this, most people at the end are going to go, oh, now I get it. Right? So we call this the pet spectrum. We all know these people here on the left-hand side, right? You've got your big grocery and your mass retailers. That's where about 65% of all the pet food in the United States is sold in, is a type of this store. Absolutely no customer service here, right? Selection's limited. On the opposite side of the spectrum, you have your independent neighborhood, small mom-and-pop type operations. These guys have to be about customer service because the prices in these locations are typically very high. They don't have a lot of buying power, right? Selection is typically limited. They absolutely have to know who their people are coming in, their names, their pets' names, and what have you. Right? Obviously, you have the two 800-pound gorillas in the room, Petco, PetSmart. Big stores. We're talking 15,000 to 30,000 square feet in high traffic, high retail areas. You got to battle these people on the weekend. Good luck, right? You get into the store, flip a coin on customer service. Literally, Petco is just dropping like a stone in a swimming pool in terms of their customer service numbers, going way down. So when you go into these places, sometimes you're on your own, right? But the biggest thing about these two types of stores that a lot of people don't understand if you're not involved in the industry is you're not going to find a lot of those high-end brands in there, a lot of those organics and naturals. And there's multiple reasons. One of the reasons is Petco and PetSmart do their own distribution. They require anybody that has anything in their store to allow them to do the distribution. A lot of the high-end brands do their own distribution or work with distributors. They will not work with Petco and PetSmart. They don't even want to. Petco and PetSmart require those brands to water down their margins to be able to even be sold in their stores. So they're not going to go and take a hit on the money. The biggest one is if you think about trying to move somebody from a $20 bag of Alpo to an $80 bag of Taste of the Wild, they're not just going to switch because the bag looks good. There's a huge education component here, and that's exactly how we train our people. So where does Pet Supplies Plus fit into this? Well, honestly, we're the best of both of these worlds. We're bookend by big boy and small guy. So where you find a Pet Supplies Plus location is in your neighborhood. We are the neighborhood pet store. So the inline shopping centers, they typically have a major grocery anchor. About 80% of our stores have a major grocery anchor in their shopping center. You pass us 4 or 5 times a day. We're about convenience. You don't have to battle traffic and parking, right? You go right into where you would go into a Subway or a nail salon or a grocery store or an Ace Hardware. We're in those same shopping centers. So convenience is definitely number one. But we're all about the pets and the people. And we don't even call our customers, we call them neighbors. So we give them an opportunity to have a very convenient location, have the selection, but everybody shops on price. So, talk about it. Due to the fact we've been in the business since 1988, and we have vendor relationships that go back that far, preferred pricing. We have over 300 stores, so we have buying power. We do our own distribution for our hard goods. So couple all that stuff together, and our pricing is exactly the same, and in most cases as much as 2.5% cheaper than Petco and PetSmart. So again, the best of all the worlds. We know who our neighbors are that come in. We know their names. We know their pets' names. We know what they buy. We're all about the health and wellness of that pet, giving you better options for your pet so they're around long. And that's what everybody wants for their pet. So what do our stores look like? They look like this. Very much like, if you want to think of Petco and PetSmart as like a Kroger or a Publix or 2 big grocery store chains, think of Pet Supplies Plus as more of a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods feel with having store brands as well. Again, best of both worlds here. There's a couple different sizes. You can do a small paw print or a large paw print. Small paw print, 5,000 to 7,000 square feet. Large, anything over 7,000 square feet. Typically don't go over 11,000, 12,000 square feet. The biggest difference between the large and the small, other than square footage, of course, is the fact that the large have both dog grooming and dog wash services. Small will typically only have dog wash services. But it's a very open airy, clean. It looks clean. It smells clean. Everything's very nicely racked, inviting store, right? That's on purpose. But again, the one thing that's the biggest differentiator between us and the Petcos and the PetSmarts of the world is definitely what we call the moneymaker aisle. This is where all those high-end brands are found. So when you look at the fact that we have an average of 35 different types of these foods as opposed to a Petco and PetSmart that average between 15 and 17 brands, you got to look at how much money you make. Over here's our store brands. All right, we have our brands next to the, the Alpos and the Purinas and whatnot over here. Over here, you're going to make about $1 to $4 per bag. Over here, you're going to make about $36 per bag. Huge difference. And like I said, we're by far the leader in this space. Right? So that's a big one for us. What do these things do financially? They do very well. Our average corporate store last year, top line revenue, $2.7 million and some change with a $326,000 EBITDA. Big numbers. That's great for corporate stores. What about franchise stores? Very similar. So when you look at franchise stores, your top line gross revenue, if you take $48,625, multiply that over the year, you're at about $2.5 million and some change. Your EBITDA per franchise store is around the $240,000 to $260,000 per store, with a 2% royalty for your first year and a 3% royalty starting year 2, going to the life of your franchise agreement. So high volume, high revenues, low margins, right? We want you guys to do very well. The one thing that you have to take away from this model is, and I'll leave it up for the next guy to come up here, but it's a very simple store operation. Everything is paint by numbers. Everything is systems. There's really not a lot of thinking involved here. It's all about the neighbor experience. It's about the health and wellness of the pet and the prices at a good price point, value price point. True turnkey opportunity. You're leveraging almost 30 years in the business. You have over 125 people on the support team at our corporate location up in Livonia, Michigan, between Detroit and Ann Arbor up there. It's a proven model, recession resistant, technology resistant. I want to spend a minute on this. I always get people saying, oh, Amazon's got to be killing you guys. No. The majority of what we sell in our industry is food. About 65 to 70% of what you sell is food. When do people buy food? When do people buy dog food? They buy it when they need it. Most people forget. When they get home, they're out of food. Guess what? They're not going to get online, order food, and wait another 1 to 3 days to get their food delivered. They get in their car and they go. Where is the closest place? Pet Supplies Plus. We're in your neighborhood. That's on purpose, right? So great industry to be in, a lot of fun. If you don't like puppies, it's probably not the best model for you. I'm just kidding. You don't have to love puppies to love puppies, right? So a lot of fun while you do it. You can live the lifestyle you want. It's all about being a part of the community. You've got to be a part of the neighborhood, and you do your promotions and your advertising to set yourself up as that person, right? So I do appreciate the time to allow me to show you what we're all about, and look forward to speaking with some of you down the road, hopefully.
Yes, and we'll have questions at the end. And
okay.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
Sure.
The next business delivers their services in a customized Mercedes Sprinter van, which includes a mobile grooming salon. Jack?
Thank you. I appreciate the time to speak with everyone, and we share Sean's optimism and experience with the pet industry. It's true. It's a very recession-resistant industry. It is growing leaps and bounds. I think some of the most important are striking numbers, and it's across the industry. In 2008, America spent like $43 billion, and that's coming out of a very stable growth pattern in the industry. 2012, 4 years later, probably some of the worst 4 years of economic times that many of us have seen in our lifetime, and hopefully ever will. The industry grew by $10 billion, and it was at $53 billion from 2008 to 2012, completely supporting what Sean had said. And my franchisees, during that time, the vast majority of them saw a double-digit growth year after year. So it's a very dynamic industry that's growing. Its projected growth through the coming years is somewhere between 96 to 100 billion a year, and we fortunately are positioned to profit from that. Our history is we were founded in Australia in 1996 by a gentleman named Ian Moses, who is still the founder and CEO of the company. He sold his Australian operation in 96 to a master to fund his U.S. expansions. We've been franchising since 1999 in the United States. We currently have 65 franchisees operating 204 vans. We have offices. The main corporate office is where I reside in California. Our training center is in Washington, Seattle. And Mr. Moses runs the business from New Zealand, where he does take care of international presence. We are worldwide, and we are the largest mobile pet grooming franchise in the world. And the driving force behind this is the number of dogs and cats. I like the term, the humanization of pets. I think it's very accurate. When people look at this, and according to Animal Planet, pets outnumber children 4-to-1 in America. And the dollars that are being lavished on their pets is truly unbelievable and continues to grow. We offer a premium service as we do come. All of our franchisees utilize a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van that's diesel. We also have solar panels on the top. It's completely self-contained with its own power, its own water. We're extraordinarily environmental friendly. The gray water is less harmful to the environment than taking a shower. So it's a very well thought out process and very much environmentally friendly. What are the choices for the customer? Well, they can go to a Petco, to a PetSmart. All we're looking for is a 1% market share. So imagine there's 100 dogs or cats up against the wall, and all we're asking you to do is walk over and pick one up. I'll go over our marketing in a second, which is extraordinarily effective. So they do the bathing themselves. They're going to wash the pet. And there's a certain amount of clients that will wash their pet. Or they're going to put the dog or cat in their car and take it to a brick and mortar location, which is an acceptable option. That does happen. Or for a premium that I think is offset from time and cost of money, they can bring it to, they can call us and we will come to them and we'll groom the pet at their home. It's a lot less stressful for the pet. There's a lot of people that traumatization may be an overstatement, but not by much. Some dogs are really kind of stressed out by going to a brick and mortar and being groomed. It's very chaotic, very alpha-dominated type of a pet. They're caged quite a bit. A lot of operations have a drying room. They receive the pet, goes into a cage, they wait. They go from that cage to the bathing room where someone bathes them, then they're put in a drying room. It goes back to a cage. And in many of these drying rooms, it's a cage and it looks like an octopus with all of these blowers blowing warm to hot air on the pet, sometimes overexposing the pet to heat, and it's bad for their skin. Then they're taken to a groomer, they're brushed out, then they're put back in a cage, and then the owner comes and gets them. Versus we pull up, it's about 45 minutes to an hour. They're the only pet on board. The premises have been wiped down and tried to eliminate as many pre-existing odors as possible. We really cater to the pet, and the pet is bathed on board in a Mercedes. It's got all of the operation, all the equipment that a major salon would have. We even use a clipper vac, which takes advantage of clippers with a vacuum cleaner process, if you would, attached to the clippers to remove the fur as the pet is being clipped. A couple of huge advantages to that. The blades don't get hot, and a lot of times in a clipping process, rather than being cut, actually a pet can be burned if the blades get too hot. By having a clipper back, it extracts the excess fur, keeps the friction down on the blade, and keeps the blades cooler, also resulting in keeping the blades sharper. After they're groomed, we hand blow dry them. So we dry them out with a brush and a blow dryer. And it's really a very upscale presentation. It truly is a spa treatment with their pet and works very, very well. How do we get our customers? It's the biggest challenge. There is a huge demand for mobile pet grooming. I've got franchisees that have been with me for over 12 years, and their marketing is as successful today as it was 12 years ago. There's a large number of people that are looking for what we do. We don't do any cold calling. The marketing is highly successful and run primarily through a web presence. Each franchisee, we build their website for them. We have a company in San Jose very close to Google that knows all the algorithms and the metadata to make sure that your web page, which is where about a third of your people find you, is current and robust. It's interfaced with Twitter and Facebook. We have a strategic alliance with Yelp. We have a strategic alliance with groomer.com, all of which are industry standards and social media presence to make sure that your presentation is top shelf. The internet will get you about a third of your clients. The van presence get about another third of your clients. So there's 2/3 of your clients are going to come from an internet presence or the van presence. The balance is going to come from existing customers, from referrals, from veterinarians. We have a vast array of e-cards or snail mail if one would like to do, direct mail. We help you design that. We help you implement that. And the result is 90% of our customers, 80 to 90% of our customers are repeat customers. Most of my franchisees that have been in business for 8 months to a year or longer woke up the 1st of May and their calendar was 80 to 90% full. So they're not out trying to find a new customer each month like some businesses, which are great. I mean, FranNet is an excellent operation, and they're going to show you a lot of different options and pick the one that's the best practice for you. One of my huge advantages, though, is once you get a client, if it's a roofing company, you might not see that client again for another 10 years. With Aussie Petmobile, you're going to see that client every 4 to 6 weeks, and the average fee per my FDD, per my item 19, is just under $80 an appearance. So it's a very stable income. Also on my item 19, the cost per call. For every $9 and change you spend in marketing, the phone's going to ring. For every $22 and change that you spend in marketing, you're going to get a client that's going to be with you for 4 to 5 years and pay you on average about $79+ a visit. Very, very effective marketing, and it works well for us. Aussie Petmobile is a wonderful franchise to manage. The great misconception that is out there is, gee, I don't want to groom pets. Sounds like a great franchise. Sounds like it could work. I like the marketing, but man, I don't want to go out and groom pets. We don't want you to groom pets. 90+% of my franchisees have never groomed a pet, don't have any plans of grooming a pet. But they're mid to senior level managers, accountants, actually CFOs and directors. People have managed the process before. they've paid their dues, they've worked, they've reached a certain level in their business life of success, but they're too young to retire. They want to have fun. They want to have a flexible lifestyle. Aussie Petmobile offers this to you. In training, we will show you how to implement and design your marketing campaign. We'll even do it for you because it's important to both of us. We share in our mutual success. We also will have a great customer management software that's extraordinarily robust and in real time. We'll show you all of this as you go through the process. Plus, we help you identify and train the groomer. It's a very effective way. When you enter the process, after one signs the agreement, it's about a 90-day process to get the van outfitted, to get you trained, to get you ready. So it's a quick startup and works very well. Banking, business owners, engineers, finance, it's where people are coming from to look at this business, and they're buying it because it's fun, has a flexible lifestyle, it's very highly scalable. Most of my franchisees are projecting to have 5 to 7 vans. There's no real estate. It's truly a home-based business. There are no major competitors. We are the largest in the world at this business. There's a lot of mom and pops in the area, but they're already full, so they're not taking new customers. High percentage of repeat business, rolling billboards, strong initial and ongoing support in a very robust, growing industry. It's an excellent opportunity. We have a very structured process after which the decision-making is based upon one's comfort and satisfaction with the business. We lay it out. We have an introductory call. The second call is after we introduce ourselves and give you an overview to the opportunity. Then we discuss with you and review with you the protected territory that you will have the exclusive right to represent in. It's 200,000 to 300,000 people. We do an extraordinarily in-depth demographic study and presentation with you. The third call, from number 3 to the end, we go to a Skype situation. We're going to partner, so we feel like it's very good that we have face-to-face time, and you're not just talking to me through the process. We have a discovery process, if you will. It's not just one day where you fly out and meet the corporate staff and have one opportunity to speak to the people that you're going to be partnering with. It's a process. So you're going to have multiple touches with the key people in the company to make sure that you get the information that you need, plus you get a sense and a feel for the corporate culture. Are these the type of people you want to be dealing with? The third call or Skype is with Ian Moses. It's what I call a principal to principal. You're the principal. Ian is the principal, and it gives you a chance to speak to each other. Very early in the process, at the number 4 appointment, we have a webinar. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's a mini, what's called a discovery day. It's a very in-depth drill down where we get very specific on the marketing pieces, the marketing campaign, the design, the results, the ratios, very in-depth. We also do the same thing with the van. What's its capability? What's its design? How has it evolved? And then the third thing that we want to review with you, where you can actually see it, is the customer management software, which is extraordinary and allows you to run your business from anywhere in the world. You've got your fingers on the pulse. Take your cell phone, a tablet, or a laptop, and you can run your business or be in touch with your business anywhere. It's very effective. The 5th appointment, now we're going to start the validation process. I specifically wanted to put the validations in the middle of our process rather than up front, because I think it's important that you get a chance to really get a sense and a feel for what am I going to be asking questions about. Now you've seen the van, you've seen the marketing, you've seen the software. Now you can talk to our franchisee, being front-loaded with information to ask them about the relativity and the effectiveness of those 3 items. We also review the FDD with you. We want to give you plenty of time to look at the FDD. You'll have received it way before the 6th appointment, but there we set a time to review and answer your questions. We also use a proven match assessment, and we rely on this very heavily. We're a mature franchise, which means we have a lot of good territory, but we're living off of our royalties, so we don't have to sell a franchise. So I'm not trying to sell franchises. We're trying to build a business so we can take our time to make sure that we're equally a good fit for each other. And part of that process is a proven match assessment where we weigh your results against our top performers, our middle performers, and our lower performers. And if we perceive that there might be a challenge, we want to tell you up front and address it to make sure that it's like building a house. If we're going to change a wall, let's take an eraser on the blueprints and move the wall at that time rather than the house is being built and we've made a mistake. So we want to make sure that we're a good fit for each other. The confirmation day, after 7 times, we know each other well. We've had plenty of time. This takes somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks at this time. You've got a good sense and feel if we are a good fit for each other or not. And if we are, then we set a confirmation day, which we call a signature day, where we come out, execute the documents, and start setting what we call a 90-day action plan. What do we do from the time that you sign the documents? Takes us about 90 days to get you open, which is a very quick ramp-up time. Pictures of our van. We're real proud of this. I personally inspect every van before it goes out. This is your flagship, if you will, what you will show your friends, your business model. It's an excellent vehicle, and again, we will drill down on the vehicle on the number 4 call. I appreciate your time. FranNet's a wonderful organization. You couldn't be working with a better group of people, and they vet all of their franchise ORs that they represent. And if there's any questions that I might help you with later, it will be my privilege and look forward to it. And that's it for now.
Thank you very much, Jack. I am going to open this up.
The conference has been unmuted.
But there is a question right here. This is for Sean. Where do you get your live animals from?
Yeah, I saw that. So we do not sell cats and dogs. We do not support puppy and kitty mills at all. We sell fish and critters is what we call it. So obviously fish, freshwater fish only, rodents, snakes, birds, rabbits, guinea pigs, turtles, those type of things. We get those pets from, all the fish come from one fish supplier in Florida. All of our birds come from one supplier in Florida, and our reptiles come from a combination of 2 suppliers. I think one is in Louisiana, and one, believe it or not, is in Michigan.
Okay, thank you. How's financing for the investment for both concepts?
For our concept, we have the normal relationships that you can point people to, but we also have an in-house partner called Franchise America Finance and this is a big validator for our brand, we think. Franchise America Finance has set aside $15 million in a pool of money just for pet supplies plus franchisees and their build-out costs, and they will allow you to finance up to 80% of your costs to do so. So it's a pretty successful operation that we have with them in a partnership that again validates the strength of our model.
Aussie Pet Mobile, the first van, because it's principally a startup. We have a relationship with Enterprise Leasing. It's a down payment plus 48 months of about $1,200 payment, after which you own the van. After a year and you've been in business and been proven, we have relationships with Mercedes-Benz, Enterprise, and a couple of other avenues for you to secure the van. Working capital and a franchise fee is typically done through a 401 rollover. We are on the SBA register, and that's an option for you as well.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, how about how do the franchisees find good employees?
For our model, it's very easy to find employees, either manager or part-timers. The reason is it's a lot of fun working in our stores, and the people that we look for are obviously pet lovers, and we look for very positive, outgoing, not afraid to approach people. Those are two very important aspects, probably the biggest aspects, and those are pretty easy to find in the interviewing process. So we don't have a hard time finding employees to work in our stores.
We also spend a lot of time with identifying a good employee. It's the face of your business. One of the reasons we have a partnership with groomer.com that has been around forever. They've got 15 portals. So we spend a lot of time and energy with that alliance, as well as spending a lot of time with you in class to identify when owner training to identify an employee. It's relatively simple. You're looking for someone that has the energy and has the ability. Some of our franchisees, their employees can make $34,000 to over $60,000 a year just being a groomer in fees and tips. So it's a very lucrative opportunity for someone, which presents itself for longevity, and we've had groomers that have been with us for quite a while. The key is taking your time, identifying the right person, vetting that person, and offering them an opportunity.
Okay. This next one's for Sean. How long does it take to find the real estate and then to grand opening?
So typically what we tell people is an average of between 7 to 12 months from signing your franchise agreement to opening the doors of your store. Mm-hmm. We give our franchisees 12 months from the day they sign their franchise agreement to the day they sign their lease. Most people don't need that much time, but we do allot that amount of time. And then we give them up to 7 months after that to open up their doors again. The build-out process takes typically 3 to 5 months, depending on how much work you need to do. We go into second and third generation retail, so it's a pretty quick turnaround, relatively speaking.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any other questions? Okay, well, I thank you both, gentlemen. I thank everybody for attending this afternoon. I will follow up with all of you. If anybody has any questions or needs anything, you can contact me anytime. Thank you again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.